Hello and welcome dear students. In today's video, I will take up the poem Not Marble Nor the Gilded Monuments from class 10th English Communicative Literature Reader book. Children, I know you find this poem little tough, but I will make it easy for you to understand. I will give you the theme, detailed explanation and the literary devices used in the poem. Children, listen very carefully and see the full video. Now we start with the poem. Let us first of all know about the author, about the poet. The poet of this poem is William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare was an English playwright, poet and actor. He was widely known as the greatest writer and dramatist of English language. Let us see, children, now some of his famous works. Some of his famous works are Hamlet, Macbeth, Romeo and Juliet, Julius Caesar, King Lear, All the World is a Stage, The Phoenix and the Turtle. And children, he has written many sonnets apart from these plays, dramas and poems. Children, this poem is William Shakespeare's sonnet number 55. Now children, what is a sonnet? A sonnet is a poem of 14 lines with a structured rhyme scheme in which a thought about a subject is developed thoroughly. Now we come to the theme of the poem. The poem deals with the theme of the power of poetry to immortalize a person. The stone and gilded monuments made in the memory of powerful people may get destroyed or crumble with the passage of time, but poetry or literature can never fade away. It will keep the memory of a person alive forever. The poet contrasts the transient nature of stone and gilded monuments with the eternal power of poetry. Children, as this is a 14 lines poem, first 12 lines, children, 3 stanzas of 4 lines each, and then last 2 lines. A 4-line stanza is called a quatrain and last 2 lines are called a couplet. But if we see, children, first 8 lines, that are called octave and last 6 lines are called sestet of a sonnet. There is a picture, children, on the very first page of the poem in your textbook, and there are some questions with that. Now children, this picture here, the time has been portrayed as a powerful warrior because it is carrying a weapon or a scythe, actually we can say that can be used as weapon also. And it has this picture has this man is carrying an hourglass also. It shows that time slips very fast, children. We cannot change time. We cannot stop it. Okay? It can destroy the stone statues and monuments, but not his work, his poetry that he writes for his friend. Now, children, we start with the explanation of the poem. Let us see first 4 lines. Let's read the stanza first. Not marble nor the gilded monuments of princes shall outlive this powerful rhyme, but you shall shine more bright in these contents than unswept stones besmeared with sluttish time. Children, gilded means covered with gold and outlive means live longer than something or someone. Powerful rhyme. Rhyme here is poetry, children. Powerful poetry, his work, his literature. And children, these contents refer to poetry, his work, and unswept means not cared for or ignored, we can say. Okay? Besmeared means covered with dirt or tarnished. Sluttish means unclean and immoral habits. Here, children, in these lines, the poet says that his work of poetry that he has written for his loved one shall outlive the monuments made of stone and covered with gold, or they are gold plated. Further, the poet says that his friend will shine brighter in his poetry. When the poet says these contents means his poetry, than the monuments of stone that are left uncared for. The poet says unswept stone, uncared for, ignored, uncared for, and will wear out with the passage of time, will be destroyed, will be forgotten with the passage of time. But his work, that is poetry, will shine brighter and will remain fresh forever. Through poetry, his friend or his beloved will also shine brighter, will be remembered or praised by everyone. Now we start with the next stanza. When wasteful war shall statues overturn, and broils root out the work of masonry, nor Mars his sword, nor war's quick fire shall burn the living record of your memory. Your refers to his friend. Children, overturn means upside down. Broils is fight in a war. Root out means to remove something completely. Masonry, children, is work of architects, means making monuments or stone statues in olden days. The poet is talking about olden days. And children, Mars is the god of war and living record is the poetry. The poet here says that his work of poetry will stand the test of time, means it will never be destroyed by anything. Whereas wars will overturn the stones and gilded statues made by the great architects, those great people of olden days. The great monuments and statues erected in the memory of powerful people, powerful princes, powerful knights, powerful emperors, okay, they will turn into ruins. They will be destroyed, means because of the wars that are just wasteful. Wars only bring destruction, children. We all know that. They bring nothing else, only destruction, loss of life and property. The poet says that his poetry, written in the memory of his friend or beloved, cannot be destroyed by anything, by neither war nor by the god of wars, that is Mars. His work will live forever. Now, children, third stanza of the poem. Against death and all oblivious enmity shall you pace forth, your praise shall still find room, even in the eyes of posterity, that wear this word out to the ending doom. Children, oblivious enmity means complete destruction. Pace forth means to move forward. Posterity means future generation. And children, doom is the day on which the last judgment will occur. In this stanza, the poet says that like a powerful person, his friend shall strive forward, shall move forward in life against death, jealousy and hatred. He will be praised by the future generations, obviously the generations to come. Generations that will survive till the last day of humanity. The poet has used the word, children, doom, ending doom. The last day of humanity. The recorded memory of his friend, that is his poetry, his work, shall be honored till posterity. The poet, children, has used these words, wear this word out, means the generations that will survive, that will live, okay, until the doomsday. The doomsday, the last day, the day of judgment. Now, children, we come to the last two lines of the poem, the couplet. Okay, here, children, the lines are, so till the judgment that yourself arise, you live in this and dwell in lovers' eyes. The poet's friend will live in his poem, in his poetry, and in the hearts of those who love him till the last day of judgment. The poet says that till the last day, that judgment day, when the souls come out of the graves and the punishment is decided, or you can say that our deeds are judged by the God and accordingly our afterlife is decided. Till that day, you will live in this. This is poetry, children. You will live in this. And dwell means to live. And dwell in lovers' eyes. Lovers means those who love you. Or this work, this poetry. You will live in the hearts and eyes of those people who love you. Now, children, we talk about the literary devices used in the poem. First is rhyme scheme, children. It's A-B for first three stanzas and last two lines are A and A. Alliteration, wasteful war, shall shine. Wasteful war, and then sh sound is repeated. Children, I have already made videos on literary devices. I will give you the link of those in the description box. You can just see those videos and you will understand each and every poetic device very well. Okay, now children, next is allusion, reference to God, Mars, and then judgment, personification, sluttish time, living record. Time and poetry have been personified. Now, imagery, children, marble, gilded monuments, unswept stone, work of masonry and wars. These images have been used vividly by the poet in the poem. Children, next is epithet. What is an adjective? Epithet means adjective. Adjective is used to describe a quality of a person or thing. Children, we all know this is not a tough thing. Okay, sluttish describes time, children. Sluttish time, poet has used here. Okay, sluttish time. Besmeared describes statue, and wasteful describes wars. I hope, children, this poem is clear to you. Children, I will give you the key points and the question answers of the poem in my next video. Stay tuned for more videos on different topics. Like this video, subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends also. Thanks for watching my video.